Welcome back to my Declutter series. This is part one of my Declutters of 2024. Every year I go through my entire collection and I do a Declutter series this is just the end of the year tradition basically. And I go through all of my collection, getting rid of the stuff that I no longer want, no longer use. Maybe it's old, maybe nobody's asking for comparisons anymore. There could be so many reasons as to why I get rid of them. I do try to be very mindful and let you know exactly why does this one get to stay, why does this one get to go, and at the end I let you know how many things did I get rid of. I do give away all of the things that are still usable. I give away to friends, neighbors, and family, co-workers here around me. I do not ship out used makeup to my subscribers, so please don't ask for them in the comments because I do not ship out used makeup. Also, shipping is extremely expensive, so there's just no way for me to be able to do something like that. But if you are interested in this kind of declutter series, don't forget to subscribe before you leave, because this is part 1 of 5 and we are starting with foundations, concealers, and powders. Part 2 is going to be bronzers and blushes. There are so many. Part 3 is going to be highlighters and face palettes. Part 4 is going to be eyeshadow palettes, and there are hundreds and hundreds of eyeshadow palettes. And part 5 is lip products. And I already filmed all my declutters, and let me tell you, these are juicy and I am ruthless. Listen, I don't save for the sake of saving. I get rid of stuff and I let you know which things get to stay and which things get to go. Also, leave a thank you in the comments to my husband. This is his yearly contribution to my beauty channel. He edits my declutters for me to help me offload a little bit of my workload at the end of the year. So if you like the editing, don't forget to give my husband a thank you in the comments. And let's get into number 1 of the declutter series of 2024, which is going to be foundations, concealers, and powders. I don't even know, I feel like I'm like collection blind, because I don't even feel like it's that bad. I mean, it's bad, but is it that bad? I do feel like I want to get rid of some though. So we are going to go through these. I think I'm going to start with foundations and then we'll move into concealers and we'll end with powders. Or maybe I should do it the other way around because I have less powders. Okay, other way around. Powders, concealers, foundations, in that order. So we get some of them out of the way. I'm gonna let you know how I feel about all of these things as I go through it. And hopefully I'll end up with only having either my favorites or things that really make sense for my collection. Because again, this is what I do for a living, and sometimes keeping things for that purpose does make sense for me. Okay, let's just unpack all of these. So I really don't feel like I have too many powders, but we are still gonna get rid of some because I don't feel like I need this many. The one I'm gonna get rid of for sure is the Easy Bake and Snatch by Huda Beauty. I saved this one to be like, oh, maybe I can use it around my face. I don't like this powder. I think that this powder it almost makes you look heavy, and especially it doesn't work under your eyes, not for me at least. And all over my face, I prefer a loose powder. I just don't think that this was a very good powder, and I feel like this was almost marketed to be like, you know, in your T-zone and stuff. It looks almost a little satiny and not in a good way. I just don't think that this is a good one. So I'm gonna put this to the side and we are gonna get rid of that one. Then we have the Sigma powder here, and I have mine in Buttermilk, which I think is like the medium shade. This is a really nice powder. I am definitely keeping this one. I think it's a great powder. I haven't been using it a lot as of late, but I think that needs to change though, because I do really enjoy this powder. I think it's really good. I also have the Huda Beauty powder here. I have it in Banana Bread. This is a great powder. Same here. For some reason, I have not been using this powder that much as of late, which I should bring this one out again. But it is actually, the reason is that I've been trying to move some of the powders out of my collection, like use them up. So this one I'm definitely saving. It is a great powder. I'm having them here on the side. Maybe you can see when I put them in. So this is the Hourglass powder. This is the new one, the pressed one. I'm gonna save this because it is new, but this is fine. It is nothing special. You definitely don't need to go out and buy this. I think I have it in translucent medium. It is very light for being a medium. I can tell you that right now. It is pretty light for being a medium. It does give quite a lot of color. I don't think there's anything wrong with this powder. I'm gonna be honest, this powder reminds me a lot, like a lot of the NYX Pressed HD powder. And that's like what, a $10 powder? And that's the main reason why I'm gonna use this up. It's nice. I love the NYX powder. I think I love the NYX powder more than this one, but why would I spend Hourglass money on something that I can spend NYX money on? So we're saving it, we're using it up, but that is about it. This one, I've used this a bit, but honestly, I don't find working with loose powders is that hard. This is the Flower Beauty Jet Set Invisible Powder Spray. It is basically like a spray for your powder. I am gonna get rid of this one simply because I don't think it's hard to work with loose powders. And this one, I do get powder everywhere, and I also don't think it works as good as a loose powder. I have oily combo skin, so I do need my powders to work really good for me. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with it at all. This one I really like. This is one that I mean, I don't know if you can tell, but I've used quite a lot of this. You can see it's not that much left in this one. This is the Nikia Joy Velvet Finishing Powder, and it is a great mattifying powder that still makes your skin look, yeah, velvety. It makes your skin look velvety and not like crepey. It doesn't make your skin look dry, but it still keeps it very matte. This one is a great powder. I also have it, oh, here it is. I also have it in the pressed version. And you can see it's been very used as well. I'm definitely keeping both of these. I wish this compact wasn't as bulky, but it's still okay. I'm definitely keeping both of them. This actually lives on my desk and it's one of the powders that I use quite often. And I wouldn't mind moving through this one because I do like this as much as I like the Huda powder and as much as I like the One Size powder. I did buy this one myself. This is in translucent. And this is my most mattifying powder in my collection. And I did get a couple of these sent to me in PR, but it was when they released the darker shades and I don't need like the darker shades for me. So I wouldn't mind buying the full size of this one, probably in a different shade. I probably wouldn't buy translucent, but I think I'm gonna have to go in store and see like, okay, so what shade are you then? Because I don't think the translucent is the shade. It's a good shade, but I think that if I could pick freely, I probably would pick something else. But it works great for me. I think I'm more than halfway done of this. I'm gonna use it up and I'm gonna buy a full size. I love this one. This is my most mattifying powder. If you do not have oily skin, or if you do not want a matte finish, I kind of don't recommend this one, but I love it. This also lives on my desk, and it lives on my desk together with this one. This is the Tower 28 Get Set, and this one is in Palisades? Do you say it like that? Probably not. In Palisades Pink. Oh my god, can you open up? These I hate. I never get these open. I don't know if this is the pink one. Sometimes I kind of wonder because you can see, it says the pink one. I kind of wonder if I got the wrong one because they sent me this one and then they sent me the translucent one. I got this in PR and I've been using this one a lot. I think it's a great under eye powder. It keeps me from creasing but still is invisible. I actually think this is a really great under eye powder. I've been using it quite a lot. I will say I'm not 100% sure if this is the pink. I keep forgetting to look when I'm in Sephora, but I think this is a great powder and I've really been enjoying it. I think I might get rid of this Hourglass powder though. It's kind of used, but I don't use stuff like this anymore, and I have not used this one single time since the last declutter. And this is the Ambient Lighting Powder in Dim Light. Not a single time have I used this one. I think I'm gonna get rid of it. I mean, these are beautiful. It's like those like somewhat glowy. They have a little, yeah, glow to them. Not enough to be a highlighter, but it's giving glow to the skin. But I haven't used this a single time. I don't do my makeup like this anymore. So I think I'm gonna get rid of that one because it's just sitting in my collection. I'm actually also gonna get rid of this one. This is the Pat McGrath. I've been trying to get like pan this. You can see it's not that much left, but I have realized with time, this one darkens up my concealer and I don't love it. So I love the other powders more. I love the Tower 28 more. I love the NYX more. This is a great powder. but it's not as good as some other that I have. This one is in medium, and it does make my concealer darker, and it also has a little bit of sheen to it. And I've realized with time that I actually don't want that in my under eyes. You can see it is a little sheeny. So I'm actually going to get rid of this. I've been trying to pan it, so I've definitely gotten good use out of it, but I think I'm done. This one is also sitting on my desk. I really like this one, and I've been traveling a lot with this one because the packaging is so sturdy. This is the Kaleido Symphony Face Illuminator in medium. It's just a matte. I use it to set my under eyes. It's a matte powder that you can use as like a matte highlighter. There is it's not a flat powder, but it's definitely not as sheeny as the Pat McGrath one. This is definitely more matte than that, and it looks beautiful on the skin. I use this under my eyes. I use this in my T-zone. I travel with this one a lot because it is so sturdy with the metal packaging. So we're definitely saving that one as well. This one I bought this year. This is from Too Faced. This is the Born This Way Soft Blur Flexible. Oh my god, that's a long one. It's in medium. This is a really nice powder. You can see this one is darker. Let me compare to the medium from Hourglass. Can you see? This is a medium, this is a medium. This is what I'm saying, that I think the medium from Hourglass is just a little bit light, honestly, because it is lighter than the one from Too Faced. It definitely is. This is a really, 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 really nice powder, but it is very expensive. This one is like a $40 powder, and it is 4.8 grams. This one from Charlotte Tilbury is 8 grams. You get almost double in the Charlotte Tilbury. And I mean, yeah, the Charlotte Tilbury is more expensive, but this is $42, I think. It's way too expensive for what it is. The compact is cute, but I will be using this one up. I will not be repurchasing, same as the Hourglass one. They're nice, but they are not worth that price tag. Speaking of the Charlotte Tilbury, I have two of the powders here. I have the one in medium. This one also darkens up my under eyes, and I don't like it in other parts of my face. So I know this is like sacramental and people are gonna like almost cancel me, but I'm gonna declutter this and I'm gonna save this one. Simply because I don't love that powder as much as other people do, and I don't reach for it. This one though is really nice under the eyes. It is a white powder, and it does set your under eyes. It leaves a little sheen, but not as much as the Pat McGrath, and it doesn't give my under eyes a white cast. It just keeps the concealer the color it is, sets it down without looking heavy, and I honestly really like it. Only for my under eyes though. I think I'm gonna put this one out and use this one a little bit more. And then I have the Lunar Beauty powders. I have the medium and the light, and I use the light one under my eyes and the medium one for the rest of my face. I think these are really, really good. I got sent them in PR. Some of these brands that I'm going to be talking about in these declutter videos, I do have affiliated links with, so do check my description box in case you want to save some money if you are wondering about any of those things. But Lunar Beauty makes really nice setting powders. These are great if I have a foundation that's already matte. These are not the most mattifying powder that I have, but they're very smoothing, very blurring, and they look incredible on the skin. They almost remind me a little bit of the Sigma powder. Like, they set your makeup down, they make you look smooth and blurred, but they're not as mattifying as the One Size. So I think that these powders are great for all skin types. And I think the One Size one, unless you have oily skin or want really matte skin, I would not necessarily recommend them. But I really like these, so I'm gonna save these as well. So I have this amount of powders left, and I decluttered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 powders, not a lot, but it's something. Oh, I forgot I had this one. I also have the Natasha Denona Powder Foundation. This one I have in the shade N6. I think this one is really good. I've actually been using this a lot during this summer to keep my oily skin at bay and to get a sheer coverage just with I have not been using this sponge. There is a sponge down here. I've been using a fluffy brush all over my face, and concealer first, then a fluffy brush all over my face. And it's been giving this sheer, natural finish that's just a little bit of a coverage, and it's been really great in the summer months, so I'm definitely keeping that one too. Okay, let's get into some concealers. I think I have a couple of concealers, oh yeah, on the side. Okay, so these are the concealers that I have in my collection right now, and I definitely do not need to have this many concealers. And with the concealers though, I will be keeping some concealers that doesn't 100% make sense for me, simply because there are brands that I love and buy a lot of stuff from, and I want to be able to do a full face of them if I want to. So I'm going to be saving them for the sake of content creation, but I will let you know how I feel about them all once we go into it. These four I fished up from being on my desk. So these are clearly four concealers that I really love. This is the Yummy Skin Concealers by Vanessa Myricks. I have it in 8 and 6. This is a really good shade for me. It is like a warm medium shade. And this one is more of a lighter neutral shade. So I highlight with that one and I conceal with this one. This is a really great formula. It's like a self-setting formula. So if you're looking for something self-setting, this is definitely a good one. It is a full coverage one. I only need to use a little. And since it's self-setting, I also only need to use a little bit of powder. If you have a lot of fine lines under your eyes like I do, I definitely recommend something like this. It really works out good for that kind of a thing. But if you have very dry under eyes and you love those like super creamy, serumy, not even serumy, I love a serum concealer, but sometimes, do you know those really thick concealers like the Natasha Denona one? You might not love this one because this one is not exactly that kind of formula. And it's the same reason why I love this one. This is the Super Stay from Maybelline, and I have this one in the shade 15. I have heard rumors in the corridors that this one is getting discontinued. Some places only have a few shades and they're on discount. I hope it's not getting discontinued. This is one of my favorite concealers of all time. It's from the drugstore. You can see I'm starting to scrape on the sides. This is a medium coverage, thin concealer that is just amazing for me. I only use a little. It gives me medium coverage and I only have to use a little powder and it doesn't crease on me. This is a concealer that I trust. I think it's so great. I always travel with this one. I think it is an amazing concealer. I also really like the LYS concealer. This one is a little thicker than some of the other ones I talked about, but it's still a really nice concealer. I wouldn't say thicker, but it's a little creamier. Like it's a little bit more hydrating in its formula than the other ones that I talked about, but it is still a light one. But if you want to compromise, you want a light concealer, or like a light formula concealer that you only have to use a little, but you still want to be able to get a bit of a hydrating formula, this one might be for you. I like this one, but I don't like it as much as the other two that I mentioned, but I still think it's really good. And especially when I do have some dry under eyes, I think this one is really nice. The thing with this one though is that I don't think that this is as full coverage as the Vanessa Myricks one. Okay, let's pull all of these out so that we can put the ones I want to keep back. Putting that to the side so we can put some of them back. I do have the Sigma color corrector. This one is a great product if you want to color correct, especially if you get like a bruise or something. I have color corrected bruises with this one. It works really good. This is more opaque and more creamy than this one. This is the Huda color corrector. Oh my god, look at that one. It's almost separated. Should we like shake it? I haven't been using this for a bit because I use this one mainly for my under eyes. And I really should be bringing this one out. Okay, this is what I want to say. I'm going to save both of them because they serve a purpose in my collection for different reasons. This is better under the eyes. I have it in peach. Yes, I have it in peach. This one is in medium. It works better on my face. If I want to cover something on my face, this is a smidge too creamy to work on my under eyes that have a lot of fine lines, and it's also leaning a little bit more peachy. So I'm saving these two, and they serve a purpose in my collection, but for like different reasons. Should I put drugstore on that side maybe? Let's see how that works out. I also have the Tower 28 concealer. I think this one is a really nice concealer. Not my favorite, but it is a really nice concealer. I think I will be saving this one. Oh, I also really like the Say concealer. And I also really like the Kosas concealer. I think I will be getting rid of the, you can see I'm almost out of the Kosas concealer. I am scrubbing on like the sides of it. It's not that much left. This one is old though. I don't think that mine smells. Let me smell it. Mine, it doesn't smell bad, but it definitely is starting to smell. Like, How do you know that something is about to go bad? It starts smelling almost like fermented crayons. That's how this is starting to smell, but it is old, so I'm gonna get rid of it for that reason. Let me actually put it to the side here so we can count them afterwards, but I'm saving these two. I also have, this is from Hourglass. This is also a nice concealer. All of these are a little bit more thinner concealers. This one is a little bit more creamy though. I need something that's not too thick. That's why I decluttered my Natasha Denona one. A lot of people love it. If you love a creamier, thicker concealer, you will love that one. I love stuff that is a little bit thinner. So let's save those. Those are also a little bit more high-end. Hourglass one is so long. I love the Makeup Forever HD Skin. I would say that this one is not full coverage though. The Laura Mercier is really good. This is a little bit more peachy in undertone though. This is the Real Flawless one. This is a really nice one, but it is a little bit more peachy in undertone. So if I want to do a little color correcting and concealing all in one, that one works really good for that. This one is also old. You can see how old this one is. It's really separated. This is the Pat McGrath one. This is nice. I really do like it. It's a little, I can't believe I'm decluttering two Pat McGrath things. But I haven't used this concealer in a really long time. And I have found other favorites that are a little less thick than this one, because this one is a little bit more on the creamy side. It's nothing wrong with it. It's nice. It's just a little old, so I'm gonna get rid of that one. This is one of my favorites, and you can see this is well used, and I have used quite a lot. You see I'm scraping on this one, but this is one of my absolute favorite concealers. This is the Huda Beauty Fall Filter Concealer. This is full coverage, and if I use too much, this one will crease on me, but if I use a little, it gets me full coverage, no creasing. Absolutely love this one. I have the shade Sugar Biscuit in this one, and it is a great shade for me. Let's talk about some drugstore concealers. Oh, I have another shade of the HD one. I guess this is a lighter one. I'm saving the one in 21Y, and I'm gonna get rid of the 14Y. It's just a little bit too light for me. Let's talk about some drugstore concealers, because I do have a couple to talk about. Is there another drugstore concealer here? Maybe not. Maybe this is what I have. Oh, I have this one too. Okay, this is the Makeup Revolution Eye Bright Concealer. This is fine, but not great, but I'm gonna save it for like content purposes, because I am making a video about Makeup Revolution. You really wanted to see that. The Flower Nose Concealer, it's good, but I feel the same about this one as I feel about the Natasha Denona one. It's too creamy, it's too thick. I have seen a lot of people who love the Natasha Denona one also love this one, so keep that in mind if you wanted to try a more affordable version. And I was not even following my own lead, putting them to the side. This is the Physicians Formula Butter Glow Concealer. This is a light to medium one, and it's extremely light. I mean, you can tell how light this is compared to concealers that are more my shade. I can't believe that this is the light medium. This is also, according to me, too thin. It blends too far, and it's not a bad one, but I think the color range is a little off, and I think it's almost too thin. I really do like the Revlon Color Stay Flex Wear Full Coverage and the L'Oreal True Match concealers. These are both really good. I'm gonna save both of them. I don't think that they crease on me. I think they stay on really good. This is the NYX Pro Fix Stick. This is great if you want to cover up, like a cover up concealer for like pimples or something like that. But I don't really suffer from that, and this is too heavy on my under eyes. But if you are looking for a spot concealer at the drugstore, I do recommend this one. It is pretty easy to work with, and it does cover up what needs to be covered up. This is the new Fenty Beauty concealer. This is the Wear Even concealer. This was too thick and hydrating for me. I am gonna get rid of that one. We also have some from Salt New York. I don't know both of these concealers, or if one of them a foundation. I think one of them might be a foundation and one is a concealer. I am going to say both of them. I want to use Salt New York a little bit more. I'm going to put those with the drugstore. I think it is a great brand. I love the owner. I love the brand. And I want to use them even more. So we are definitely saving those down here. This is my favorite concealer from Fenty Beauty. This is the one that is the Bright Fix Concealer. I have it in Deep Butter 07. This is a great medium concealer, but I think these are fairly similar, like a medium coverage concealer. I think these are fairly similar. This just has an easy applicator, but if that one gets discontinued, I guess I'm gonna have to travel with this one instead. Okay, so here we're coming into a concealer. You can tell this is not the right shade for me. It's a little bit too almost grayish neutral for me, but it still works. But this is a concealer that I'm saving for content purposes. This works just fine on me. There's nothing wrong with this concealer. I used to hate this concealer because I used to over apply it, you know, the way we did in 2016. When I just use a little bit of this one, it gives me good enough coverage. It doesn't crease on me overly. It's a fine concealer, but it's not my favorite. But I do want to have the opportunity to do a full face of ColourPop and talk about this one because I don't think they have any other concealers. And again, it's fine for the price, but if I was gonna do a concealer from the drugstore, I would pick any of these three, honestly, over this one. But I'm gonna keep it for content purposes. I also have the House Labs concealer. This one I really like. This one does remind me a little bit of the Yummy Skin. The one from, oh my gosh, the one from Danessa Myricks. This one might be a little thicker, but it is one of those that it does self-set a little bit. It is a little bit on the drier consistency, and it does require less powder. So I really, really do like this one, and I think this has really nice coverage. I do have the Makeup by Mario. I like the Makeup by Mario brand. This isn't my favorite concealer, but I do think it's fine enough for me to keep it. And again, if I want to do a full face of Makeup by Mario, saving this for that kind of a purpose. I do have the new MAC Studio Radiance concealer. This is too creamy for me. This creased on me crazy bananas. I love this packaging. It's beautiful packaging. I've only had this for a little bit, but I can't get this one to work. It looks heavy under my eyes. It looks, yeah, it just creases. It looks heavy. This is not my favorite concealer. It does say Radiance, so for it to be, I was hoping that it was going to be Radiance, not as a thick and creamy, but this one didn't work for me, so I am going to get rid of this one. I'm also going to get rid of the NARS. I have a mini of the their like original concealer. It's fine, but it's a little bit old at this point, and I am going to get rid of that one. I also have the Beautiful Skin Radiant Concealer from Charlotte Tilbury. This is the lightest concealer that I have. I don't know why I have this in so light. It is in 4 Fair. Why do I have it in Fair? I honestly have no idea. I almost wonder if I ordered this one and there was like other shades were out. I'm not 100% sure because like this is more my shade. So I'm gonna keep this one because there are times when it really makes sense for me to have something to lighten up with. And again, I do like this concealer. I really do. Even though it's a radiant concealer, I don't think that this is overly creamy. It doesn't really act up on me, and it works for like lightening up other concealers. And if I want to do a full face of Charlotte Tilbury, plus I actually really enjoy this concealer, so we are gonna save it. This one is the Prisme Libre concealer from Givenchy. There are so many people who love this one. I think it's good, but I don't think it's better than any other concealer. I also find it so funny because this one has 11 milliliter, and there are so many people. I wonder how much this one has. This one has 9 milliliters because a lot of people are talking about how much more product there is in this one. Oh, this one only has 5 milliliters. That's actually kind of crazy. Yeah, it actually does have more like in there than some of the other ones. How much does this one have? Oh, this one has, okay, so the Shape Tape has a 10. So these two, let me put these back. These two have approximately the same amount of concealer in there, but there's definitely a difference between different concealers of like how much you get in them. So you do get a little bit more bang for your buck in the Givenchy, but also remember this packaging also feels a little thicker because they have that thick wall, and this one does not. But yeah, there are definitely concealers that are more expensive, but you also do get more product. So this is definitely one of those. I do like this one, but I don't love it. This is one of those concealers. I think I'm gonna pick this one and put it at, because I usually have a bucket of makeup that I'm like either currently trying to use up, or I'm trying to use even more, or things that I'm reviewing that is like in a bucket next to me when I'm filming, and I'm gonna put this one there just to try it even more and form a better opinion on it. And I might declutter it if I end up realizing that there are other concealers that I like more, because I don't want to save stuff for the sake of saving them. But I don't dislike it. I just don't 100% remember how I feel about this one. So we are gonna try it out even more. Okay, Shape Tape. I did a sponsorship with Tarte, and they sent me even more of these Shape Tapes. I actually really like the Radiant version. I don't love the creamy version, so I'm gonna declutter that one. And the original one It has its benefits, but I don't like it as much as I like the Radiant one. And this one is also a little bit older, so we're gonna declutter that one. Again, I do love the Radiant one, but I don't need to have 3 shades of it. Again, they sent me some extra ones. I think 275. This is 22N and then 16N. Why is this 270? Oh, maybe it's 27S. Oh, light medium sand. So I think I'm gonna save the light medium sand because I think that this is the shade that's probably the best one for me, and it seems like the one that I've been using as well. So I'm gonna save this one because I do like this concealer. Again, this is radiant but not thick. It doesn't crease on me. It is medium coverage. I think this is the best version of the Shape Tape that they have ever made. So we are keeping that one, and I am gonna get rid of these 2. So this is the amount of concealers that I am saving. I might even put some of the indie ones in here too. But yeah, I definitely don't have as many drugstore as I have high-end, as you can see, but I still think that this was a good selection for me. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 13 concealers that I am getting rid of. Some of them are, some of them are old, some of them are not my favorite, some of them are duplicate shades. You can't keep everything, and new things come on the market, and you can't enjoy all kinds of formulas. And I do try to not buy things. I never buy things that I don't think I'm gonna like. So for example, the MAC Radiance one, I thought that one was gonna be like the Tarte Shape Tape Radiance. It is not. It is too thick, it's too goopy, it's not for me. So I just try to review stuff to let you know which ones I think are the best and work the best for my 4-year-old under eyes that are just kind of filled with fine lines, if we're gonna be honest. And now we can move into foundations because I have a lot. So I'm wondering if we're just gonna put everything out just in front of us. Maybe that's the best way, actually. Needless to say, I have a lot of foundations. Okay, let's go through this beast of a mountain. Let's start with this one. Do you see how separated this is? I've not had this for that long, but do you see how that is moving about? How separated that is? And where is half the foundation? Because I have not used, it's down to here. I have not used this much of this foundation. Where did it go? This is crazy. This is from Made by Mitchell. It was not good on my skin either. It was extremely greasy on my skin, but what is up with this formula? It looks like what nightmares are made of. Okay, let's put that to the side of like things we are not keeping. Okay, but absolutely not. Absolutely not. There are so many things here that I love that I don't feel like I've had enough time to wear this year, which makes me sad. I'm gonna be honest. Looking at this, I see so many favorites, and yeah, I feel sad because I love these things. Okay, one thing that I actually pulled out of as of late. This is the Fenty Beauty stick, the eavesdrop stick. I've used this so much as of late. Okay, let me put this one down. Can you see how much I've used this one? I have used this so much. Like, you can twist this up even more, but I have used this almost all the way to the end. I love this one. This is the only, one of the few, I should say, one of the few dewy foundations that actually works on my oily skin, doesn't break up, and looks glowy without actually being oily. This is amazing. We're definitely keeping it. Another one of my absolute favorites is the Fenty Beauty Liquid Eavesdrop. We're gonna save that one too. This one did not work for me. I see so many people loving this one. This one looked patchy on my skin. It turned out way too oily and like greasy after a bit. And I didn't love this on my skin. This is the the Performer from About Face. I see so many people loving this one. This did not work for me and my skin, so we are getting rid of that one. I also have the HD Skin. Is it 2 shades? Oh, here's another one of these each drops. I'm keeping that one too. I have it in 2 shades. So this is the I've gotten one in PR and one. These are the same shade. This is my shade 2 and 22. Why do I have 2? Nobody knows. But you can tell that this one is the one that I've been using the most. I've used more than half of it. I don't know if you can see how far down it is. I think I'm going to save the new one. And I'm going to get rid of the old one because for one reason or another, I have both open. This is a great foundation. Love this one. This is also a great foundation. This is the Prada foundation, the Reveal foundation. It's great. It's expensive, but it is great. This one I'm going to get rid of. This is the Polite Society More Than a Pretty Face. This gets unbelievably greasy on my skin. It looks amazing when you put it on. It's very thin. It looks blurring. It is full coverage. But dang, this one turns me into a grease ball. I can't do that one. This one used to be a favorite foundation of mine. This is the Ambient Soft Glow Foundation from Hourglass. I have not used this in a really long time. This is what I mean. This is going to be one of those foundations. I'm going to keep it and I'm going to put it out together with this one. And I'm going to use them and I'm going to be like, do I still love it? Because I haven't used it in so long and I used to love it so much. This one I have actually used quite a lot. I'm almost down. I'm down to here. I think you can see. This is where my foundation is in this one. This is Natasha Denona Foundation X. This used to be my absolute favorite foundation. I am going to declutter this one. It is so old and I have almost used this up. I might even put this in my empties because it is almost used up. But this foundation, I really love it. I thought for a bit that Natasha Denona was going to get rid of this one because she was getting rid of all of the shades and all of that. But I do think she still has it, but this one is almost out. I've almost used it up and it's getting pretty old, so I am going to get this out of my collection. Here we have 2 more of the HD, and this is this Hydra Glow. This is the HD Skin Foundation, but just a glowy version. This is very beautiful on my skin, but it also turns incredibly glowy, so I am going to get rid of this one. Again, I have oily combo skin and I don't love having like a super greasy skin. This one, did Charlotte Tilbury discontinue this one? This is Light Wonder. This is like her tinted, is it a tinted moisturizer? It's not really, but it's like her skin tint. It says here, yeah, light coverage. I have it in 6 medium. It is so beautiful. Did she discontinue this one? Let me go and look at her website. I do see it online. I'm looking at my phone right now, but I am wondering. Oh, it says that it is discontinued. Okay. It is being discontinued, but you can still find it. Let me put my phone back. You can still find it some places online. This is old, so I'm going to get rid of it because it is so old. But I don't know why she got rid of this one because according to me, this is the best foundation that Charlotte Tilbury has ever had. Mine is super old, so I am going to declutter it, but it's so good though. Super surprising to me. We have the Sigma Skin Perfecting Hydrating Tint. I have it in 2 shades. I have it in 2 and 3. None of these shades are for me. The undertone is incredibly wrong for me. They're both, 2 is definitely too light for me. 3 is almost too light for me and also peachy leaning, and I do not have any peach in my undertone. I have a more like golden undertone. So for me, this also turns a little bit too glowy on my skin, but I've heard people who have more normal dry skin who really love these, but the undertones are just way off for me, so I am gonna get rid of those. They're not perfect for me. This one is really nice, but I haven't used this in a really long time. This is the Jason Wu foundation, and it is the Tinted Moisturizer meets CC. This is very similar to, let me see if I can find it. There is one from Charlotte Tilbury that is very similar to this one, but did I get rid of it? Maybe I did. Well, clearly I haven't missed it because I haven't been looking for it since, but I am going to get rid of this one because I haven't reached for it in a bit. This is the Clean Invisible from CoverGirl. This is golden natural, but it is not golden. It is extremely peachy. I don't know if you can see exactly how peachy this one is. Super peachy. Like crazy bananas peachy. Absolutely the wrong shade for me. So I will get rid of this one. I wish they would describe the colors a little bit better than what they have. This is the Makeup by Mario foundation. This is glowy if I don't powder my entire face. I can make this one work for me. I actually got this resent to me in PR, and I've been really enjoying the Makeup by Mario line. So that's the exact same reason I'm keeping the foundation and the concealer, because I want to be able to do a full face of Makeup by Mario. This isn't my favorite foundation, but I can make this work, which is good. If I powder my entire face, it does hold up pretty good on me. I have a couple of these, like, you know, the glowy, let me see where they all are. I actually think I have more, so let me go and look. Okay, so this one isn't even that. I just mistook it for this one, the Auric one. I apparently got rid of both the e.l.f. one and the Charlotte Tilbury one last year, which makes sense because I think the Auric one, which is one of those glowy illuminators that you can use as a mixer, you can use it as a highlighter, you can use it as an all-over tint, or you can use it as just a primer. I think that Auric is the best one. I think the Juvia's Place is okay, but the undertone is too golden for me, which is crazy because I do have a golden undertone, but this is like straight up yellow on me. So I'm gonna get rid of that one. But I do think that the Bright Lights from Makeup Revolution is probably the best drugstore dupe I have tried to the Hollywood Flawless Finish. So I am gonna keep both of those. Let's talk about the Lisa Eldridge. I have this one and I have her skin tint. I love the foundation, the skin tint, the enhancing tint. It is way too glowy on me. Like crazy bananas glowy, but this is one of those, I've heard so many people love it that I want to try it a little bit more. I want to give it even more chances. So I'm also going to be putting this one out and trying it. And if I don't like it, again, I will probably just, how do I put this down? I will say her bottles are beautiful, but they're not easy to store. Let me tell you that. So I'm going to give that even more chances because I do want to make it work. I'm having some troubles. Let's put it like that. I do have the Yummy Skin Serum from Vanessa Myricks. This is amazing. I used it quite recently. This is a glowy skin tint that doesn't turn greasy on me. Absolutely love it. I do really enjoy the Born This Way Soft Matte Foundation from Too Faced. This is the reformulation that they came out with. I think this is really good. We are definitely saving that one. I'm also going to be saving this one for review purposes. Like I'm gonna do a full face of Makeup Revolution and I want to talk about the Skin Silk foundation. This is a luminous serum foundation. I have heard so many people with dry skin absolutely love this one. It is too glowy for me. It doesn't break up on me though, so I do think that's a good formulation, but it is way too glowy for me. It reminds me a little bit of this one, the Polite Society one, which I am decluttering, so I think it is a great formulation, but not for oily skin. So many people are loving the new Fenty Beauty Soft Lit. This is too heavy and too glowy for me. I'm gonna get rid of it. This is the Real Flawless foundation from Laura Mercier. This one went really viral, and I will say, this looks so good on the skin. I do have to prep my skin and powder my skin for this to last longer than like 7 hours, but I can make this look amazing on me for 12 hours if I use a mattifying primer and just do a light powdering over, and it really does look, yeah, flawless. It really does look great. Wait, I have one more shade of these. I have the F10 and the F7. I think I got these in PR. I'm gonna save this one. I'll get rid of the lighter one because that's probably not my shade. I have still been using the NYX Bear With Me. This has been discontinued for a really long time. This is probably one of my favorite foundations of all time. It got discontinued. I'm gonna declutter it because it is old. It is so old that I bought this one in Sweden. It's old. It's very, very old. It's old. I feel like I have so many here that's just like, these are fine. I'm gonna save the Iconic London. This is also one of those that I wanna use even more because I do think it works really good. And I kind of want to compare it to the one from Fenty, this one. I want to do a better comparison because I do think last time I compared them, I preferred the Fenty one, but I want to try them again. I have a couple here from the drugstore. Some that I really love. The True Match from L'Oreal, it's really good. I think I am going to keep this one. I'm also going to keep the Neutrogena Mineral UV Tint. This one is really good. This is a great tinted SPF that works on a no makeup day. I even applied this with my hands. I actually really, really like it. These two, I've stopped using them completely, so I am gonna get rid of them. It's the NYX Bear With Me Blur and the Revlon Skin Tint. I also have another couple of affordable ones here. Ooh, Dream Matte Mousse. Have you tried this one again? Let me talk about this one first. This one, an oldie but a goodie. This one with a damp sponge as a sheer layer all over your skin actually looks incredible. I'm gonna keep this one. I know, controversial, but I'm gonna keep it. The Pretty Fresh from Colourpop, I actually really like this one. Do I have one shade or do I have more? No, it seems like I have one shade. This is a really, really good tinted moisturizer. This one works best with your hands. I have mine in medium 9W. I'm gonna keep this one. Again, this is my favorite one from Colourpop, and if I wanna do a full face of Colourpop, that makes sense. I also have, I'm trying to figure out if I have any more drugstore ones. This one is drugstore, this one is drugstore. I have a couple of non-drugstore over here as well. This is the Revlon Color Stay for combination oily. I have one that is a little bit too light for me that I have been using. I've used more than half of this one, and this one is in 240. And then I have one that's a little darker in 330, which works when I have a little bit more of a tan. You can tell right now that I do have a tan, and that darker one works better for me. So I actually think I'm only gonna save the darker one, but as you can tell, I really love this one because I still used half of it, even though it wasn't even my correct shade. Also this one, used almost half of it. It is the Simply Ageless Skin Perfecting Essence from CoverGirl. Absolutely love this one. I've been traveling with this one a lot. And then we have the Camo Hydrating CC Cream from e.l.f. This is okay. I'm not gonna keep it. It's not my favorite from the drugstore, so I'm gonna get rid of it, but it's okay. Here's another one of the Foundation X from Natasha Denona that I've almost used up. Can you see how little is left in this one? Crazy. I'm gonna get rid of it though. It's old, but yeah, I really used that one to filth. Let's talk about a couple of the newer ones that are here that's like to the market. I have a couple of like really new ones. This is the this one. I feel like this one really divided the makeup community. This is the Unreal Skin Sheer Glow Tint Foundation Stick from Charlotte Tilbury. This one is incredibly glowy. Like it is almost like a highlighter. I mean, you can see, but this one on just the outer perimeters of the face and then just concealer in your T-zone, it honestly looks absolutely incredible. And it does become a little glowy, but since I don't put it in my T-zone, it just looks fantastic, honestly. This one, but not in my T-zone, I gotta give it. It looks incredible, so I'm keeping that one. I also love the Face Bomb foundation. I forgot to recommend this in my Sephora recommendations, and I was like cursing because I was like, oh, I should have recommended that one because it's so good. I have it in 17 medium warm. Absolutely love it. Probably the best thing Urban Decay has released in a really long time. Definitely recommend it. It is full coverage. It looks, it gives a natural finish. It holds up amazing over the day, and I just think it is an incredible foundation. It has one of those like these. You can see how much used mine is, but yeah, I just think that this one is incredible. I also love these two. This is the One Size Turn Up the Base and the Huda Beauty Easy Blur. This one truly is one of the most blurring foundations in my collection. It is a full coverage blurring foundation, and this is a full coverage mattifying foundation. This one does turn oily on me. If not, it doesn't break up. It doesn't look like greasy, disgusting, but I definitely have to use mattifying primer, and I definitely have to powder. This one, I don't have to do anything with this one. It holds up like a beast. If you have oily skin and you're looking for full coverage foundation, look no further. This one from One Size, honestly, the formulation is incredible. I actually really like the Natural Radiance foundation from Juvia's Place, but I cannot seem to find my shade. There is something about the undertones and the shades at Juvia's Place. Even though they have so much, they don't have one that's perfect for me. So I really like this one, but I'm gonna declutter it because, I mean, as you can see, this is the closest that I've found to my skin, and it's still not the right way. It's just, it's weird. They're either too yellow or too peach or too light or too dark. They're just never perfect, and it's just a shame because I do really like the way that it looks. I just can't make the shade work for me. This is the Giorgio Armani Neo Nude. This is almost out. Like, it's so empty. Again, it's super old. I think I'm gonna put this in my empties because I almost used it up and it is just too old. This is an amazing foundation. They have re-released this in a new packaging. Incredible medium, like medium coverage, natural finish. I wore this to my wedding. It is absolutely incredible. The problem is I wore this exact one to my wedding. This one. And that was in 2020, so I think it's time to say goodbye to that one, okay? I think we can all agree on that. I do have two from NARS here. I do have the light reflecting and the soft matte. I am gonna keep both of these. I especially think that light reflecting one's amazing. I think I have both in Punjab, yeah. Medium one. Both of these are in Punjab, and I really, really enjoy these, but I haven't worn them in a really long time. I think NARS makes incredible foundations. I just need to wear them again. I really just need to wear them again. I did wear this one recently. This is the One Side Turn Up the Base BBB cream. The problem for me, this one has dried up. I can't get any foundation out of this one. So now I'm gonna have to like actually unscrew this entire thing. Yeah, there's definitely foundation left here. I do really like this one though. I think it's really good. So I'm gonna keep this one, and I'm gonna see if I use this one, even though this one has just clogged up, because that just it's annoying. It's annoying that it's clogged up, but it is what it is. I do think that that one is really good though. It is a full coverage, blurring, but not 100% mattifying foundation. Okay, this one is a Supergroup Protectant, the SPF 50. This one has not sheer coverage. I will call this light coverage. I think this is amazing. It holds up great. We're definitely keeping it. I also have this one. This is the Born This Way Healthy Glow. I don't know why they decided to call this a Healthy Glow from Too Faced, because for me, this one turns matte. This is a matte skin tint. It's great. It's really great, but it's not, I would say this is a natural matte. But that's just me. I think this is a nice skin tint for oily skin if you don't want to be super glowy. Then we have the House Lab Foundation. We have the Luminous Silk by Giorgio Armani. Neither of these I have used in a really long time. This one looks great on the skin. It really does. And I can make this work if I just use a little bit. But if I'm going to be honest, all of these work better. But I am going to save this one, and I am going to save this one for content purposes. They're too glowy for me. They don't break up, but they turn me too greasy, but I'm gonna save them for content purposes. I can make them work, definitely. Oh my God, this one is getting a little full. Same here, Patrick Ta, Major Skin Luminous Skin Perfecting Foundation. This is a grease ball, an absolute grease ball, but I'm gonna save it for content purposes. But let me tell you, absolute grease ball. If you have oily combo skin, and also, why is this packaging always like this? But if you have oily combo skin and you're looking for something to not look too greasy, this is not it. Then I have a bunch of more skin tints. Both of these I think are, yeah, both of these are medium. I got sent these by Typology, and I did a sponsorship with them. So I'm gonna say one of these are really good. I really, really enjoy these, but I don't need two shades. I don't need the exact shade twice, I should say. Really enjoyed this one. It is really a beautiful light coverage. Yeah, it says light coverage natural finish. That's definitely what it is. It's really, really pretty. I also have the sticks by Anastasia. These are BB cream sticks. I have 5, 7, and 16, and I think 7. This is a darker one, and this is a lighter one, and I think this one is the one that I've been using. Yeah, oh, you can see, wow. I'm gonna have to clean that up a little bit, but I really like this one. I thought that because this is like oil-based, that it was gonna be too greasy on me, but it actually just melts into the skin. It looks and feels like skincare. It just blurs and perfects your skin. It doesn't break up on your skin, and I just think that this is such an easy formula. You can blend it in with your fingers, you can get a sheer result, and I think the main thing with this one to like remember when you're using this one, this is sheer coverage. Don't try to build it up. Just embrace the sheer coverage. It is a really beautiful product, and I'm definitely saving it. I just don't need all the shades that they sent to me, because I was doing a video with it. I was doing a sponsored thing with them, and they sent me a bunch of shades. Okay, these are the products that I have left. I've talked so much about the Merit. Let me see. I've talked so much about the Merit one. You can see how well used mine is. I absolutely love this one. It's called the Minimalist, right? I have it in Bisque. Love this one. I've been traveling with it. I've been having this in my purse. I've been having this for touch-ups. You can use it with a finger, with a brush, with a sponge, especially if you have oily skin. This looks like a natural finish that doesn't break up on oily skin, and I really enjoy it. I also have been enjoying the Ilia one. I haven't used this one as much, and I want to use it even more. Same here. This isn't a full coverage stick, and I want to use it a little bit more. Overall, Ilia is a brand that I feel like I haven't tried, I say enough from, but for being my job. This one I'm gonna declutter. This is the Amazonian Clay Liquid Gem Foundation from Tarte. This is extremely heavy. And I mean, look at that. I think I've said what I need. We've all seen what we needed to see. Bye-bye. Then we have the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin. And I bought, this is the one that is like, you can use it as a primer, you can use it as a foundation. I use this as a skin tint. I bought number 3 myself. You can see, this is the one that I've been using. I bought number 3 myself, and then I had an event with Danessa Myricks, and they had released more shades, and they recommended 3.5 for me. This is perfect for me. I use this one as a sheer skin tint, just with it. I go in with a sponge over my skin, holds up like a boss, absolutely beautiful, like mattifying on the skin. It has Absolite in it to keep you, not like keep the oils at bay. Again, what to remember with this one, less is more. Don't build up coverage with this one. This isn't a full coverage like cake foundation. This is more like a skin tint, and if you use it as a skin tint, it is beautiful. I'm gonna get rid of the shade that's almost right for me, and I'm gonna save the one that is right for me, the one that I really love. This is something that I need to use a little bit more. This is the MAC Studio Radiance Face and Body. I don't even remember my thoughts on this one, so I need to use it a little bit more. It was so long ago. This one you can see I've used quite a lot of. This is the REM Beauty, it just says foundation, medium 2N. This is a beautiful foundation. This is more of a, it is, I don't want to say it's a natural finish, but it is a slightly glowy natural finish. It is a medium to full coverage. It looks amazing on the skin. Really enjoyed this one, and I want to use it even more. And then I have the Pat McGrath Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection. I have mine in light medium 10. This is a beautiful foundation. I want to use it even more. This is a foundation that is a light to medium, but you can build it up a little bit. You can sheer it out. It is beautiful on the skin. It is expensive, but dang, it's really worth it. To me, this is the best product from the Pat McGrath line. Of all the products I've tried, this one, according to me, is the best one. I think it is an amazing product. I need to use it even more. It is absolutely beautiful. I also have 2 of the magnetic, oh my god, there's foundation everywhere. I have to clean my table after this. I have 2 of the Salt New York magnetic pouches with different cream products. This one has a highlighter, foundation, bronzer, blush, I think. I'm gonna keep both of these. Again, I love Salt New York. I love the brand. I want to be able to use these even more. And this is one that has the same, just different colors. Again, love this brand, love what they do. Definitely want to keep using these because these are great, but I almost want to move them into an easier storage palette, not for traveling, like something that I could have at home that's easier for me to reach to. So I might reorganize mine so I can use them even more, but we're definitely keeping these. So let's start with seeing how many we got rid of. 3, 4, 5. Okay, I have 15 here. Let me see if I can just put these away. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, 28 foundations that I have gotten rid of. Honestly, I think that sounds like a really good idea because Lord knows I have not been using all of my foundations in my collection this year. And I've really been feeling like I told you when I was pulling these out, I was really feeling like there are so many of my favorites here that I haven't used because I have just been so preoccupied with other things, which is a shame because like I love these things. I think I'm still gonna put some of these that are a little harder to have stand up. and something like this, because I think that this is gonna help them just be a little bit easier to contain. But yeah, this is my collection right now. It feels so much better. I am so excited about getting rid of some of these things from my collection. Again, I didn't use them. They were taking up space, and now I feel like I can actually like see my collection, which makes me really excited. I might even move some stuff around here so we have like the bigger ones in the back. Because yeah, no, come back. Oh, there's another stick. I might put that here. I just want to be able to reach my favorites again. I don't feel like that's too much to ask. I really want to be able to, I don't know where to put these. These Lisa Eldridge ones, they're so cute, but they're also like, babe, these are not easy to store. But I hope you enjoyed the video. Please let me know if I kept any of your favorites, if I decluttered any of your favorites, or if you have the same skin type as me, which is an oily combo skin, and you did not see your favorite here. Let me know, because I am always open to finding more perfect foundations for my skin type, because that's what I try to do. I try to help you find your favorites, and then sometimes you help me find my favorites. So don't forget to subscribe before you leave. I will have another declutter up in a week. That's going to be bronzes and blushes, which is going to be very needed. Oh my god, this year has been the year of blushes, and let me tell you right now, there's a lot of blush. Oh, you are not prepared for that video, but I'll see you then, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.